Okay everyone, I'm sort of shooting from the hip on this video. I'm going to be talking about the install of my Tapo cameras, so let's get to it. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that I'm replacing my Arlo cameras with TP-Link Tapo cameras, mainly because of the issues I'm having with the Arlo support for perfectly good cameras that they call legacy. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. In this video, I'm going to install the camera and the extension, and that's what I'm going to focus on is how I went about the install. So, enough of me blathering on about nothing. Let's go ahead and get to it. So I guess the best place to start is to look at some of the parts we're going to be using and some of the tools to do the install. So let's get that out of the way first. We've got our camera kit, which came with the camera, it came with the power adapter, it came with a mounting plate and some hardware. And then next we've got our adapter cable, which for this particular one, it looks like I did some measurements. I'm pretty sure I'm safe. I'm not going to need it, but it's basically extends your power adapter. Then we've got the Raceway flexible adhesive to mount to the walls so that we can sort of hide the wires. I mean, we're not really hiding them. We're just running them through something that's basically the same color as the wall. So yeah. We've got our wall mount kit we're going to need for this one. It comes with an additional plate and its own hardware. We'll look at those plates a little later to see the difference between them. And then we've got our hammer drill. It's got to be a hammer drill, can't be a regular drill. We're drilling into a cement concrete wall, so yeah. And of course we've got some carbide drill bits. Again, can't be regular drill bits, have to be carbide tipped anyways. And this is an old antique level. Actually, this was used by my grandfather and my father, and now I'm using it, so yeah. Then we've got an old Craftsman screwdriver. This was back when Craftsman still meant quality. This was handed down from my dad. And then we've got a tape measure. And other than pencils, pins, things like that, I think that's about everything here. So this is the wall we're going to mount the Tapo camera to. This is the old Arlo mount up here. We're going to probably be using the hole we put in the wall to screw this one in. So we only have to drill one hole. Notice the beams up here. I'm going to talk about those in a little bit, and why I'm using the wall mount instead of directly mounting to the ceiling. And then down below that we have the power plug where we're going to get power for the camera. So we've got to run the cable from the camera as unobtrusively as possible down to this plug. Okay, here's our two plates, the one that came with the camera and the one that came with the wall mount. The wall mount one has a threaded hole in the center of it to screw into the wall mount. You notice the one that comes with the camera doesn't have that. Now there's two tabs on one side of these, and these go into these slots on the base of the camera, and you have to twist them. They've got some raised plastic so that they lock in place. Once you twist them, you're going to have to use a screwdriver or a coin or something because they twist a little hard. Just be careful putting these together though. And here is our camera. We can see it's approximately 6 inches from the wall mount down to the tip of the camera, and that's important, and we'll go over that in a few minutes. So you'll notice the beams here, they hang down 6 inches from the ceiling. So if I mounted my 6-inch camera to the ceiling, part of the video would be obstructed by these beams, which is one of the reasons I'm not mounting it to the ceiling. Get the camera a little lower to see past these beams. Here's the Arlo mount. It's 3 inches down, and that will put us 3 inches, 6 inches for the camera, about a 1/2 inch for that. So that'll put us down around 9 inches below the beams. And here's the wall anchor we put in for the Arlo camera. We're going to just reuse this one for the wall mount for the Tapo cameras. So using the old wall anchor as a reference point, we're going to determine where the next wall anchor has to go. I'm going to get my level out and make sure that this is perpendicular, not off to the side somewhere. And once we get the mark for the second hole in the wall mount, I'll make sure we have that marked directly below. So we'll double check it against the actual hardware to make sure it mounts. Remember, always double, triple check your measurements and things, avoid errors. And now we've got our mark. The next step is I'm going to there's a skim coating over the wall so I can tap into it. I'm going to use my trusty old Phillips head screwdriver, Craftsman type, and make an indent into the wall with a hammer. This will keep the drill from wandering when I start drilling the hole. So the next step is to go ahead and start drilling the hole. I'm going to drill it just a little bit to make sure it doesn't wander. I've got a decent hole started. I'll drill it just a little bit deeper, and then I'm going to check the fit with the wall anchor. The wall anchor should be tight. You should technically be able to push it in with your fingers, but it should be hard to push in, or tap it in with a hammer and it should go in. Should be somewhat difficult to go in, but it shouldn't bend the wall anchor as it's going in. That's when the hole's the right size. If it goes in too easy, the hole's too big. So we've checked that and we've found out it is the right size, so we'll go ahead and finish drilling the hole. You want to drill a little deeper than the size of the wall anchor, so there's some space on the end for the screw when it pokes through the end of the wall anchor, and then we want to gently tap the wall anchor in till it's flush, and we'll double check if we're perpendicular or not, and we should be ready now to mount the wall mount. Yeah. So we'll put in the old screw first at the top. We'll tighten it down medium tight so we can still move the wall mount around. Then we'll put the second screw in, make sure it matches, and we'll tighten them both down. And next, we've put the plate on the bottom of the camera, so we're turning the camera upside down, lining up the screw hole on the plate, and I got to make sure the power connector is facing the back. So we'll go ahead and adjust that with the camera, and then we'll go ahead and screw it in place. And that's it for the camera. It's mounted. Now we need to run the wiring. So I'm using a flexible Raceway with adhesive backing, so it's easy to shape and mount to a certain extent. One of the things I want to do is it's going to take two pieces. I'm going to have to come over to the left from the camera and then down, so I need a 45-degree corner. And I've got an old square I'm going to use. This, again, handed down from Grandpa and Pa. And I'm going to go ahead and mark these, and then I'm going to cut them. Always make sure you compare to where you're actually mounting stuff so you're actually cutting in the right direction. That's, again, goes back with double checking everything. Anyway, once they're both cut, we can put them together. We'll hold them, make sure it matches how we want to go on the wall, and then we're ready to go. One thing I found out with these Raceways, like I said, they weren't exactly the ones I ordered. They'll do, but the hole through the center wasn't big enough for the plug on the end of the adapter. They were very thin along the bottom. They got two strips of adhesive, so it looked like they were meant to be cut that way. So I cut them along the bottom and then just pushed the wire in that way. So I didn't have to worry about trying to force the connector through. I got the wire through both pieces of Raceway before I'm getting ready to mount it. So once the wire is in all the way, we go ahead and peel back the adhesive and mount them on the wall. Up from the outlet and 90 degrees over. So here you can see I started the Raceway. You just press these to the wall and they stick after you peeled the tape off the back, and it went up along the side of the window all the way to the ceiling and then over. You notice I got a little dent to the left. Yeah, I may replace this later if I have some of the Raceway left, but no one seems to notice that, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. Like I say, it's the same color as the wall, so it doesn't stand out. And then you can see the camera's plugged in up through the Raceway over to the camera, and in the back it's hooked up to the power connector. And that's the install. That's it. This is a Wi-Fi, so there's no Ethernet cable to run or anything like that. We already went through the testing on the phone app with the previous video. I should link that at the end of this video, yes. And probably throw a link down in the comments, we'll see. Anyway, one of the things we want to do here, since I mounted the camera upside down, is we need to go into the settings. That's the little icon that looks like a nut up at the top right. And we want to scroll down to video and display, and we want to find where it says invert image and turn that on. And there we go. Now our image is right side up. We just need to repoint the camera. So yeah, we'll just swing the camera around a little bit, get it lined up, see how it works, how it looks, and it's good. I'm satisfied. One more camera to mount today, and then I need to order some more. Yeah. Anyway, that was the mount, the setup. If you're mounting them like I did, upside down, you need to invert the image. But yeah, we're done. We're good. We're ready to go. Okay, that's it for the install. It went pretty smoothly. Minor problem here or there, but nothing I couldn't deal with. So yeah, I'm hoping this is helpful for some of you if you're installing your own cameras. It can be a little tricky sometimes, especially running the wires and things. So I just wanted to demonstrate that it's not that difficult, and anyone can do this. Like I say, I did it, anyone can do it. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe. That's what I'm always missing. Anyways, we'll catch you next time. What's the next video? I don't know if it's going to be an Obsidian video, or I might be doing a Fallout 4 modding video because I've got some requests for specific methodologies, so I might be going through that, and one of my bash scripts that helps me with the installs, but we'll see. Anyway, later.